What is up, fight fans and news junkies? This is the Roger Report, and if you thought the news cycle was slowing down, think again. We've got a whirlwind of updates that are going to blow your minds, covering everything from the octagon to the political arena and back again. The pace is relentless, the stories are hot, and you absolutely do not want to miss what's dropping today. Get ready for some unmissable insights that will keep you on the edge of your seat. First up, we're diving deep into the world of MMA's biggest names, where a shocking training request could redefine comeback narratives. Could a legendary champion be getting help from one of the sport's most dominant forces? You won't believe who's reportedly reaching out. Then, we pivot to a fascinating political development that's raising eyebrows and sparking debate. We're dissecting claims about presidential powers and the very fabric of a nation's constitution. Is everything you thought you knew about the process about to be challenged? Get ready for a deep dive into the details that matter. Next, we're heading back into the fight game, but this time it's all about the verbal sparring outside the cage. One fighter is calling out another, drawing a direct comparison to a notorious trash talker, and the heat is on. Who's talking the talk and who's walking the walk? We've got the breakdown. And finally, in a surprising personal revelation, one of today's most electrifying fighters is opening up about his journey, admitting he got lost trying to emulate a true icon. What lessons did he learn, and how is he forging his own path to superstardom? Stick around for all these stories and more. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the Roger Report, and ring that notification bell so you never miss an update. Let's get into it. A champion's training secret revealed. Could a legendary fighter's comeback be getting an unexpected boost from one of the sport's most dominant forces? This is a story that has the MMA world buzzing with speculation. Rumors are swirling that Conor McGregor, the former UFC champion who has been sidelined since a devastating leg break in July 2021, might be seeking training guidance from a fellow UFC powerhouse. McGregor, who has expressed a strong desire to return to the octagon and has even targeted a potential White House event in 2026, has reportedly reached out to bantamweight king Merab Dvalishvili. Dvalishvili, known for his relentless pressure and incredible cardio, revealed in a recent podcast appearance that McGregor had indeed asked to train with him. "I think he's really motivated," Dvalishvili shared, recounting a FaceTime call he had with McGregor. "He asked me if we could train." Dvalishvili, while keen to help, noted his own immediate fight schedule but expressed openness to training with McGregor after his upcoming bouts. This potential collaboration comes at a pivotal time for McGregor's career. Having won only once in his last 8 years, a successful return is crucial, and training with a top-tier athlete like Dvalishvili could provide the necessary edge. The timing also aligns with UFC President Dana White's confirmation that a UFC event at the White House is indeed in the works for July 4, 2026. White, after a meeting in Washington, D.C., declared, "The White House fight is on." This announcement has fueled speculation that McGregor could headline the event, making a training partnership with Dvalishvili even more significant. Dvalishvili's insights into McGregor's motivation and his willingness to engage with a top contender suggest a serious intent behind McGregor's return plans. The MMA community is eagerly watching, analyzing every detail of this potential training camp, which could mark a significant turning point in McGregor's storied career. The prospect of McGregor training with Dvalishvili offers a glimpse into the strategic preparations that might be underway for his highly anticipated comeback. Fans are buzzing about the potential impact of this training partnership, with many believing it could reignite McGregor's career. But what happens when the training camps end and the political arena beckons? We're about to uncover a fascinating story about presidential powers and constitutional claims that might just surprise you. Presidential powers under scrutiny. Can a president unilaterally call referendums to change a nation's constitution? We're investigating claims that could reshape the understanding of executive authority. In a development that has sparked considerable debate, Irish MMA star Conor McGregor's aspirations to run for president have brought a critical constitutional question to the forefront: the power of the presidency to initiate referendums. McGregor has publicly stated his intention to use the presidential office to enable voters to hold referendums on significant issues like immigration and housing, effectively promising to give the people a direct say in constitutional amendments. However, constitutional experts are unequivocal on this matter. The Irish president does not possess the authority to unilaterally call or run a referendum. This power, according to the Irish constitution, rests exclusively with the parliament, the Oireachtas. McGregor, who has not officially entered the presidential race, has been vocal on social media about his candidacy and his plans should he be elected. He has outlined his intent to leverage Articles 12 to 14 of the Irish Constitution, which detail the functions and powers of the presidency, to facilitate these referendums. He specifically mentioned a desire to restore unenacted parts of the 1922 Constitution and to establish a mechanism for the Irish people to veto government decisions. Experts such as Professor Laura Cahillane from the University of Limerick have clarified that the president's powers are very limited and do not include the initiation of referendums. Dr. Tom Hickey from DCU School of Law and Government further elaborated, stating that constitutional amendments must be initiated as a bill in Dáil Éireann, passed by both houses of the Oireachtas, and then submitted to the people via referendum as per Articles 46 and 47. McGregor's campaign, while unlikely to overcome the nomination hurdles required for candidacy, which typically involve support from 20 members of the Oireachtas or 4 local authorities, could still influence public perception. His extensive reach on social media means his statements, even if constitutionally inaccurate, risk misleading the public about the actual powers and limitations of the Irish presidency. This situation highlights a broader conversation about political engagement, the role of celebrity in public discourse, and the importance of accurate information regarding governmental processes. The discrepancy between McGregor's pledges and constitutional reality underscores the challenges in navigating political aspirations within established legal frameworks. This revelation is causing a stir, with many questioning the public's understanding of political processes. From constitutional powers to verbal showdowns, the fight world is always talking. We've got one fighter channeling a legend, but is it a winning strategy? Trash talk takedown, McGregor comparison sparks debate. When one fighter compares another to Conor McGregor, it's bound to get attention. We're breaking down the verbal jabs and what they mean for the upcoming rematch. Usman Nurmagomedov is firing back at his upcoming opponent, Paul Hughes, drawing a stark comparison between Hughes's persistent trash talk and that of MMA icon Conor McGregor. Nurmagomedov, who holds an undefeated record of 19-0, appears unfazed by Hughes's aggressive rhetoric leading up to their lightweight title rematch at the PFL Champions Series, Dubai, on October 3rd. Hughes, who lost their previous encounter via majority decision, has been vocal about Nurmagomedov and his manager, Ali Abdelaziz, claiming they were hesitant about a rematch and vowing to defeat Nurmagomedov decisively. Nurmagomedov, however, dismisses Hughes's comments, stating, "Brother, it doesn't matter what he's going to say after losing. He's looking like Conor McGregor. Khabib Nurmagomedov took his soul, and he keeps going to talk, but nobody cares." He went on to elaborate on their first fight, suggesting Hughes's approach was indicative of fear and a lack of offensive strategy, focusing more on talking than effective fighting. Nurmagomedov believes Hughes's performance in their last bout, where he landed some punches but ultimately lost, demonstrated a cautious approach, possibly to avoid tiring himself out. Nurmagomedov contrasted this with his own performance, highlighting his successful kicks, punches, and takedowns, which he believes secured his championship status. He acknowledged a minor tactical error in their previous fight, where he held Hughes in the clinch without throwing knees, but insisted that overall, his performance was superior and indicative of a true champion's approach. Nurmagomedov's critique suggests that Hughes's persistent verbal attacks, reminiscent of McGregor's pre-fight tactics, are a sign of desperation rather than genuine confidence. By invoking McGregor's name, Nurmagomedov not only belittles Hughes's current standing, but also implies that Hughes is following a path that ultimately proved unsuccessful for the Irish star in certain matchups. This narrative sets the stage for a compelling rematch, where Nurmagomedov aims to once again prove his dominance and silence Hughes's claims. This comparison has ignited fan discussions about fighter mentality and the legacy of trash talk in MMA. But emulation can sometimes lead to getting lost. We're exploring how one fighter learned a valuable lesson about authenticity on his rise to stardom. Emulating an icon, the perils of following McGregor's path. When a fighter admits they got lost trying to be like Conor McGregor, it's a powerful lesson in authenticity. We're diving into Sean O'Malley's journey of self-discovery. Sean O'Malley, the charismatic former UFC bantamweight champion, has opened up about his journey in the sport, revealing that he once tried too hard to emulate Conor McGregor's persona and found himself losing his own identity in the process. O'Malley, widely recognized as one of the most exciting talents in modern MMA, looked up to McGregor, particularly the Irishman's unparalleled ability to sell fights with his confidence and captivating trash talk. 100%, I viewed McGregor as a role model, O'Malley stated in a recent interview. The way he carried himself into fights, the confidence to say what he thought was going to happen, I'm going to knock this dude out in round 2. I got a lot out of that. I was like, okay, I can be confident like that. However, O'Malley admits that this admiration led him down a path where he felt he was imitating McGregor too closely, rather than developing his own unique brand. I feel like I got lost, almost in a sense, where I wanted to be like Conor too much instead of being like myself. He pinpointed his build-up to his second title defense against Merab Dvalishvili as a moment of realization. Feeling the pressure to make the fight a major event, especially at the Sphere, O'Malley found himself forcing a narrative and disliking the artificiality of it. I felt like I had to create something, and I didn't like how that made me feel in a sense because I didn't hate Merab. I would have loved to knock him out. I feel like I made that one too personal, and I didn't like that, but that kind of the only time I really forced anything. He contrasted this with his genuine animosity towards Chito Vera, which he felt was authentic. While O'Malley is moving away from trying to be a McGregor clone, he still recognizes the importance of charisma and entertainment in becoming a superstar in the UFC. I do think there's an entertainment aspect that UFC people need to kinda do to become a superstar, he explained. You gotta be yourself, and then you can add on to that a little bit. Yeah, finding that balance. There's not someone there to teach you. There's not a book. O'Malley's candid admission offers valuable insight into the pressures faced by rising stars and the delicate balance between drawing inspiration from idols and maintaining individual authenticity. This candid reflection is resonating with fans who appreciate his honesty about navigating fame. And that's a wrap on our top stories today. But before you go, let's do a quick recap of everything we covered. And that's a wrap on today's action-packed report. We saw a potential training partnership that could reignite a legendary career, a deep dive into presidential powers that challenged constitutional norms, a fighter drawing parallels to McGregor's talk, and a star admitting he got lost trying to emulate an icon. Don't miss a single update. Hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, drop a comment below with your thoughts, and follow us on all our social channels for more exclusive content. We'll see you next time.